One of the great venues to watch a game in any sport, and one of the best home crowds in any sport, Soldier Field in Chicago. Just a short time ago, this crowd loud enough to shake the foundations of this nearly century-old building. They are ready for football indeed in Chicago as their guys get set to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. On the handoff, it's Cohen. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Out of the gun, running with Cohen. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. It's a pickup of 10 and a Bears first down. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. From the 36, Fields. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Dennard. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Cook running on 1st down, but this defense up to the task there as they stop him before he can even get back to the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 1 officially. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Cousins gives way to Cook. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. He went backwards 5 yards there on 3rd down to bring up 4th. And he missed it. That was neither far enough. It wasn't even on target. It's no good, and this will remain a scoreless game. So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long.
Empty possession.
For their next drive, the Bears offense. Well, they were intercepted the first time they had the football, but now they get it back, and it's still 0-0.
And because of that, you know what the thought process is? Interception. What interception? It didn't really happen because they gave up no points. So go back on the attack. Go back and run the offense you believe will be successful. Find your playmakers and give them the football.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Here's Fields, rolling to his right. And he'll be forced out of bounds shy of the line of scrimmage, so that'll be credited as a sack. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Here's Fields. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Fields now to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there. Cole Kmet, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else. Ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the 1st down marker is here on 3rd. A play fake, now Fields to throw. He'll buy some time right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, on is the punter, Pat O'Donnell, to kick it away. Back deep, Patrick Peterson. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line.
I absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Cook. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 36, Cousins. Able to complete this one to Tyler Conklin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
You don't always expect tight ends to be big in terms of run after the catch, but after that play, he joins a growing band of players that's putting that stereotype right on its ear.
A run there with Cook, not going to accomplish much. Call it no gain. Second down coming up. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
On second down, here's the option. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. The Vikings with the football here to begin the second quarter. We're scoreless after one. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 46 yards rushing for him now on just 6 carries to this point.
Well, if they continue to run the football this strong, right up the middle, I don't know if they can wait till halftime to make adjustments. They better find a way to get it done series to series. I don't know if they need to sub some guys out, bring in extra people, maybe change what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. But right now, they're running the ball very well right at them and right up the middle.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. A good run of 6 yards there. Gets him closer to the goal line with second down coming up. It's Cousins on the sneak. And I don't think he got in. The big bodies up front held him at the 1. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to break. And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. Kirk Cousins with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Vikings go coast to coast and finish the drive off with 6 points. Point after, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
So 1 play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Back to throw. Fields flushed out right. And this will be caught by Mooney. Oh, he breaks a tackle, and he's got an alley. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Another first down there as this one goes for 25.
Now, that was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
Play action. It's Fields. Forced out to his left. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's second down.
And we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Looking to throw again on second down. Fields. A throw left side taken in by Kmet. Touchdown Bears! Cole Kmet, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bears are an extra point away from tying the football game. Santos with the extra point, and we are tied here in the second quarter. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And now last drive so successful with the ground game, ending in a touchdown. Do you stick with that formula?
That would be the number one thing you would think of, but so many guys now would look at it and say, we've got them set up so well for play action, now's the time to take a shot.
Yeah.
But, you know, there was a big-time coach in the state of Ohio who once said, if you throw the ball, if you put it in the air, 3 things can happen, and 2 of them are bad. He would have kept it on the ground.
Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Only needing 2 yards on second down. Give to Cook out of the gun. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. And here is motion again, and that's going to be 2 in a row. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Cousins. Looking here for Smith downfield. And it'll be intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And the Bears are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. They set themselves behind the chains, tried to get it all back in one play, and it backfired.
Didn't it feel like a pitcher working his way into a 3-0 count, right? You're behind. What do your coaches always tell you? Get it back 1 pitch at a time. In this case, they tried to get it back right away, and it didn't work out.
And he will lose yardage on the play, back at his own 19-yard line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. From the gun, here's Fields. He'll get this into the hands of Bird. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Third and 2, Fields. Dancing to his left. 1:55 left to go in the first half of play. And that ball incomplete, nearly intercepted. Took a chance with that one. It'll lead to a 4th down. Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. Now a late flag comes in as they got him down via the face mask, and that'll give him even better starting position. So that a free 15 yards.
And it's always a tough one as a defender because a lot of the penalties that you commit, pass interference, holding, when they happen, you actually know what you're doing. But a face mask penalty, a lot of times it's inadvertent, but it still costs you the same amount of yardage.
Handoff comes to Cook. Gets around him. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 98 yards for him on the ground so far tonight as he has been terrific in this first half. They still need about the length of the football here, maybe a little less as they come up on 2nd and inches. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
And a solid run down inside the 30. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
They go play action. Cousins completes it to the fullback, Ham. And all the way to the 2-yard line there before crossing over out of bounds. A very solid gain of 27.
And that's a nice job of working his way open down in the red zone. Looked that one in and then made a beeline for the pylon. He didn't quite get there, and you want to give him a little extra for the effort. But instead, he sets his guys up in excellent shape for a 1st and goal.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. They'll run for it with Cook. And he is not going to get in as the big bodies stop him at the 1. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. This Bears defense trying to hold on. This is 3rd and goal. Cousins on the keeper, and he is over the line for another rushing touchdown.
Is he a quarterback or is he a tailback?
Kirk Cousins with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Vikings have taken the lead. The point after is good, and that makes the score 14-7. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And they've got less than 30 seconds to go here, so not a lot of time to work with.
I'm going back to you. I'm going back to you.
Now a first down throw, Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Komet. And he gets all the way down to the 30-yard line. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 21 seconds to go here in the first half. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Mike, 55. Right there in the middle. 55.
Now it's Fields. Swings this out here for Cohen. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Ahead of the chains now, 2nd and 2. To throw is Fields. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And the Vikings are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on, his teammates going to check on it, because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Here comes the return from the very back of the end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball. And I certainly think
that he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Boy, the word with Dalvin Cook is explosiveness. I'm not sure there's anybody in the league that has the acceleration that he does, and he put it to good effect there.
And this is a play defensively where you're just looking around and saying, what was that? What just happened? You're looking at your teammates. They're looking at you. And let's face it, your defensive coordinator, he's not going to tip his cap to him. That's not how football works, but he probably should have after that run. That was absolutely sensational.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Now Fields. Buying time to his left. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that. And they force another incompletion.
A hole to dig out of here. 2nd and 17. Fields. And he fires one incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll roll him out right. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete.
And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. the Vikings now to start their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. They run with Cook. He's been busy tonight. And unable to get downhill there as he'll take this up to about the 37. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Play action now. Cousins. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll only get this to about the 44 as they stop him short of the line to gain. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down. Here's Jordan Berry now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. A nice return there of 11 to help mitigate a good punt. And the Bears take over. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On 2nd down and 4, Fields. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
But they certainly did a nice job there, picking him up out of the backfield and then running stride for stride with him. That's good coverage, and it led to an incompletion.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. On play action, Fields. This taken in by Jakeem Grant. And he will have the Bears first down by about 3 yards or so as they wind up getting 7 there on 3rd and 4. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Fields. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. Touchdown. Jimmy Graham. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Bears draw a bit closer. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. This will be returned from deep in the end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And their lead cut in half by that touchdown a moment ago. They are up 7 as they begin this drive 1st and 10. Running on 1st down is Cook, but he didn't find much there. Call it a gain of 3. 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator. And that's why Dalvin Cook is the Minnesota Vikings feature back. You put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Second in the NFL last year in rushing with 1,557 yards, and that's now back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with 30 combined total touchdowns. What a player is Dalvin Cook.
Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter. Now an end around as Cousins will just pop this forward. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
It's a pickup of 6. Brings up 2nd and 4 at the 42-yard line.
On second down, this is Madison. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Play fake. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are going to widen that advantage. Joseph on for the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14.
28, Bears 14.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
On first down, it's Fields. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Throwing again on second down. Fields. That's complete to Mooney. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A first down there on a pickup at 25.
First and 10 at the 47-yard line.
Here's Fields. Steps away to his left. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
From the 32 now, here's first and 10.
Yeah, let's get a sack lunch. Check 55 to Mike. Check 55 to Mike.
Off play action, Fields. And this one is incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Second and 10. Now a shotgun handoff to Cohen. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
It's going to be a long day.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Bears on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Here's Fields. And that will be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. They snap it to Fields. Sliding out of the pocket. To the sideline, and he's got it. They say the feet are down. Yes, the line judge says they're in. That'll be a 1st down. That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at the 34. He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook. And he'll get this up to about the 40. 210 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's gone on. 3 yards remain for 2nd down. They run it again with Cook. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. Well, they hit him in the backfield, and he will not escape. And that is not going to get it done. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it, get the 1st down, close it out.
Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive. And in a relatively in trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Tremendous read and reaction by the defensive tackle. And frankly, partner, it's not that often the DTs have that type of easy access back to the quarterback. Never bought the play-action fake.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Another try after the 1st down sack. Fields. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. Certainly not what he was hoping for, Charles. That's now 3 interceptions in this ball game.
But there's a lot of knowledge to be gleaned every time you throw an interception if you do things the right way. And Hasn't there been a pretty darn good quarterback along the way who threw a lot of interceptions early, learned from them, and became great later?
Who would that be?
That'd be one Peyton Manning. Threw 28 his rookie year. That's the NFL record. How'd things turn out for him?
I think okay. He's a guy in all the commercials now, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing okay.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Again, it's Cook. And they'll get this from the 8 to the 5. Pickup of 3. The recipe's pretty simple, I think, right? Just give your superstar the ball, continue to feed him.
Yeah, don't overthink this one, right? Make sure he's touching the football, but you're also counting on his intelligence in playing the game as well. If it's not there, don't force the run. Just make sure you hang on to the football and keep the clock ticking.
Now Cousins here on the bootleg. And this ball is caught by Irv Smith. Touchdown, Vikings. Irv Smith Jr., his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Grant, he will not return it, and his guys will begin at the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This nowhere for Fields to turn, and down he goes. Boy, that's tough, Charles. First play of the drive, you're hoping to stay ahead of schedule. You take that huge sack, and now you're facing 2nd and a mile.
And the entire time, you were probably thinking the same thing I was. Either get rid of the ball, safely of course, or go down. The yardage he gave up on that play, that's going to be tough for them to make up.
And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 14-yard line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. Back to throw. Fields. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. Fields on 1st down. And incomplete on the deep ball.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. To the air again, Fields. That's caught out left by Perriman. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Rolling to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Snags it for the pick. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. A young quarterback, Charles, rolling to his right. I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran defense ended up winning the battle.
He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up in the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And the scoreboard on their side, they're just looking to melt away these final couple of minutes and put this one in the left-hand column. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge, and that's good enough for a first down. A good pickup there, 26 yards. Offensively, another big chunk of yardage, Charles, but defensively, they had all this talk about trying to limit explosive plays. They have not been able to do that.
They discussed it all week, but they haven't been able to execute it at all, haven't been able to find a way to slow down this offense. They're seeking answers and not coming up with any.
No gain on the play there, second down.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature in the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
He'll fire one deep for Westbrook. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off down at the 2, past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. Well, his arm strength never an issue, but this one winds up in the wrong hands.
Oh, the coverage here is just terrific because when it's done really well, sometimes you can't distinguish whether it's the receiver or the defensive back the ball's intended for. He actually ran with him in perfect motion and able to make it.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. On first down, Fields. Open man is Kmet, the tight end. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. One last throw here for Fields. He'll buy some time right. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this